Live from DTV Studios, your top news source with Matthew Smith Jr., Hannah Livingston, and Trace Clinton on sports.
Election Day is almost here. Information for voters is on the way.
Big change may be coming to the Davison Schools calendar.
And Davison athletes fight for state championships. All this and more, DTV News starts right now. Many students here in Davison are voting for the first time in just a few days. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Hannah Livingston. DTV hit the campaign trail to bring back everything you'll need to know about this year's election.
From Washington to Lansing to your hometown, decisions made impacts us right here in mid-Michigan. And with the 2014 elections being tomorrow, there are many things people are concerned about, including jobs, education, and fixing Michigan's crumbling roads. Two big races are going to be on your ballot tomorrow, including the governor's race and the race for the United States Senate. Running for governor are Rick Snyder and Mark Schauer. Schauer, who's the Democrat on the ticket, the former congressman, says his plans for Michigan include growing the economy from the middle out, investing more in education, and helping small businesses.
We need to vote. I mean, turnout is the key. We know that people here are angry about Rick Snyder's pension tax, his billion-dollar cuts to public education, an economy that may work for the wealthy but not most Michiganders. They realize that the change is in their hands. And I have a vision for Michigan that will make public education our number one priority, reverse tax increases on the middle class and retirees, and create an economy that works for everyone.
On the Republican side of your ballot, you will find Rick Snyder, who is running for another 4 years as Michigan's governor. His plans for Michigan and what he is focused on is getting more and better jobs, keeping a balanced budget, and continuing the road to recovery, which includes recovering the cities who are struggling.
We're taking care of those issues, so we'll have a bright future, not just for us, but for our kids, and building a foundation for decades to come. That's exciting. Let's not go back to the lost decade. Let's not let professional politics mess up Michigan again. It's time for us to work together.
Moving on to the U.S. Senate race, where we find Gary Peters and Terry Lynn Land. Peters, a current congressman running as a Democrat, says he wants to strengthen the middle class, raise minimum wage, and crack down on China.
We have to stand up for the things that working men and women in this state need. We need to make sure that folks who put in a fair day get a fair wage, which is why we have to increase the minimum wage in this country across the board.
Also running for the U.S. Senate is Terry Lynn Land, who is a Republican. She's focusing on securing the borders, paving the roads, and putting Michigan first.
We made government work for the people, and right now government isn't working. You got Senator Harry Reid, who has not brought up over 400 bills that are in Congress right now to the Senate. They're about the economy, they're about energy security, the Keystone Pipeline, health care, all of that. We've been traveling all around Michigan during this campaign. We've been campaigning for over a year now, talking about putting Michigan first. And when I talk to folks, they're concerned about jobs.
If you're not sure where the closest polls are to you, you can go to michigan.gov/vote to track one down. The polls are open from 7 in the morning until 8 at night. Make sure to get out and vote.
Davison is exploring new ways to improve learning. Research shows knowledge is retained better with small breaks. So Davison administrators are exploring the idea of a balanced calendar. A balanced calendar would shorten summer vacation, but would also allow for small breaks during the year.
We need to be always focused on how do we put those kids first, and we think that maybe moving to a district-wide balanced calendar might be the next step.
Both Hill and Central Elementary have already switched to the balanced calendar and are testing it out for the whole community.
Moving on to meetings for the week, The Creative Writing Club has a meeting tomorrow after school in room 267. Make sure you get there on time so you don't miss the guest speaker. Sophomores need to wake up bright and early this Wednesday for a class meeting to discuss fundraisers. This will be at 9 in the morning in room 305. If you cannot attend, please see Miss Adams or Miss Draper. And also on Wednesday, the NHS has a meeting in the auditorium at 8:45. If you cannot make it to the morning meeting, come to room 300 after school.
You can help a family while enjoying a delicious treat. Student Council is selling donuts and cider before school this Wednesday at the gym entrance. You only need $1.50 and all the funds from the sale will be given to a family in need. And if you can't make it this week, then come back next Wednesday.
The Davison Quiz Bowl team has made it to round 1 tournament to play on WKAR's Quiz Busters. Davison will compete against Okemos on Tuesday, November 11th. You can come cheer on the team and be a part of the TV audience. Pick up a flyer in the main office for more details.
Cool to Care has kicked off this week.
We have information on how you can help give back to your community.
And coming up in sports, the varsity football team has been staying up a little bit past their bedtime. If you don't know what I mean, I'll tell you all about it when we return.
I remember it so clearly.
Take the ball, take the ball.
I hated losing
Box
more
him
than
out.
anything.
Don't let him get by, box him out.
Every loss put me one step closer to going over the edge. And sometimes it almost did. But something else matters more than winning.
Good game, man. Thanks.
Sportsmanship.
And all new all-state runners among us, the girls golf team swung their way to state finals, and the winter sports season is coming up fast. I'm Tris Clinton for DTV Sports. Let's get started. The boys and girls cross-country elite headed down to the Michigan International Speedway to battle the state's best competition. Davison's own Joe Renner and Nick Schmidt both pulled ahead of the field, finishing 22nd and 33rd, respectively. Joe Renner was named an all-state runner and also broke the DHS school record with a time of 15 minutes and 45.1 seconds. Crossing the finish line at 22nd was more than just a number for Joe.
I feel great right now. I mean, it's a surreal feeling. Last year I was 139th. I didn't think I'd make it, but here I am. I knew right away because actually my fellow spectators, my fans came out today and they were yelling me at some corners and telling me like 26 Joe, 26, and I knew I had to either catch a few people or get caught, so I went and caught a few people.
Congrats goes out to Joe and the rest of the team, showing off what Cardinal Country has to offer. Birdies, Eagles, and Triumph came to the girls golf team as they marched their way to state finals in Battle Creek. Led by senior Gabby Stevens and sisters Carson and Cameron Johnston, the girls golf team achieved rank number 2 in the state for a reason. After a 2-day, 36-hole competition, the ladies swung a total of 682 strokes downrange and finished 5th place overall at states. Great job, ladies, and good luck next year. Long before football season began, our Cardinals were grinding workouts in the summer heat. Conditioning is just the beginning, however, and the real fun starts when they bust out the pads. And this year, new head coach Kyle Zimmerman wanted to make the first full day of speed practice extra special, and I was there to see it all for myself.
Actually, it was kind of their idea. They asked if we could get under the lights and start at midnight, like they see some of the colleges doing, and at Midnight Madness for basketball. So with the new program and trying to create some energy with the community, we had some people out here. Anything to kind of keep their energy up and to get them out here and to get a good work in.
Bring the energy, he did. Late into the night of August 14th, the varsity football team gathered under the lights to begin the first fully padded, full contact, full speed practice.
Kind of a tradition a lot of schools do. They come out here at 12 o'clock, officially the first time they can start hitting, and being our senior year, we finally talked to our coach and let us do it, and he said, go for it, it'd be kind of cool to come out here, at midnight when everybody else is sleeping.
Up. Good, there you go, good.
Head coach Kyle Zimmerman brought his team to the field with the energy and with a purpose.
We're not just going to line up and go one-on-one and see who can hit each other the hardest. That doesn't serve any purpose. Okay? Remember, everything that we do has a purpose towards getting better towards August 28th.
To reinforce the hype surrounding Davison's first game versus Fenton on August 28th, Zimmerman declared it an open practice. Anyone in the community could stop by to get a small taste of what to expect from the Cards this season.
I think they're kind of curious. I think they see all the stuff out there and they want to see what is all that energy about.
Just taking in the environment. I like what's going on. I like the new coach. Some good things are about to happen.
Along with the new coaching staff comes an entirely new style of football, and Zimmerman is confident that his system could be the best we've ever had.
I would think one of the strengths is going to be obviously up front. We have some pretty good size and some experience coming back on both sides of the ball up front, defensive line-wise and offensive line-wise. But we have some talented kids that maybe in a previous system didn't fit the mold, but I think they fit well with what we do offensively, and we've kind of tweaked what we do to fit them better.
Watching the boys in maroon, one can visibly see they are ready for anything.
Hopefully things come together, go 14-0, make it to Ford Field, but that's a big proposition. Being with we don't have the largest team for Division I state, but we're all coming together real nicely, and with the new coaches, we're putting in the work, and I think we're going to have a good run at the playoffs this year.
The boys were out in the field until 2 a.m., and Coach Zimmerman made it clear that Davison football is trying to outwork everyone else. Can't wait to see what next season has in store for all of us. With the fall season coming to a close, winter sports will be kicking off soon. The hockey team skates out to Pirani's Arena this upcoming Saturday, November 22nd, to face off against Grand Ledge High School. Girls basketball runs onto the court Tuesday, December 2nd against Flushing at home, and the boys face Saginaw Heritage on Monday, December 8th. And finally, wrestling kicks off its opener Wednesday, December 10th at Midland. Best of luck to everybody this season, and if you're not a winter athlete, be sure to head out and support your Cards in the student section. Well, Davison, that's it for sports today, so I'll throw it back to Matt and Hannah on the desk for the rest of your news. Guys?
Thanks, Trace. The season of giving is on the way, and members of Davison are giving back. The Cool to Care donation drive is back at the high school, and we have a goal to shatter the record. If every student donates just 10 items, then we would have a total of 16,000, which is double our total from last year. Bring in cans, non-perishable food items, and personal items. You can also donate cash. $1 equals 2 cans. These donations will go to Outreach East and be given back to the people in Davison that need it.
2 colleges will be visiting this Wednesday. Delta College will be here at 9 in the morning, and Mott Community College will follow at 10.
Coming up tomorrow on DTV, we will have all the details for our new special on poverty called A Life with Less.
While scrolling through your Twitter feed tonight, make sure to go to DTV_official and click that follow button to stay updated with Davison sports and news.
Tomorrow on DTV, the middle school orchestra concert will be live at 7 p.m. and then on Thursday, the middle school band concert will be live at 7 as well.
If you want to rewatch the election story before you vote, just go to our website, dtvnews.org, and press Watch DTV Now.
Cool to Care has started, and I've already brought in some cans, and I'm really excited to help some people this year.
Well, Hannah, we double our goal from last year from 8,000 to 16,000, and it's ambitious, but if everyone donates, I think we can hit it.
Well, it sure is a great cause. Well, that'll do it for us today, Davison. I'm Matthew Smith alongside Trace Clinton and Hannah Livingston. You have a good one.
remember it so clearly.
Take the ball, take the ball.
I hated losing
Box him
more than
out.
anything.
Don't let him get by, box him out.
Every loss put me one step closer to going over the edge. And sometimes it almost did. But something else matters more than winning.
Good game, man.
Thanks. Sportsmanship.
Live from DTV Studios, your top news source with Caleb Gullidge, Christian Twing, and Grant Palmentier on sports.
President Obama visited Michigan to praise the auto industry.
Middle school students are raising money for a good cause.
And it was a record-breaking day for the swim team. This and more today on DTV.
President Obama made a stop at Michigan in preparation for the State of the Union address. Good afternoon, Davison. I'm Caleb Gullidge.
And I'm Christian Twing. The president came to Detroit on January 7th, declaring an American economic resurgence. DTV's Matthew Smith is live in the newsroom with more. Matt?
Thanks, guys. President Obama made a three-state swing previewing his State of the Union address, and Michigan was on that list. President Barack Obama hailed the resurgency of the U.S. auto industry, as well as Detroit's comeback from bankruptcy at the Ford assembly plant in Detroit.
Last year, 2014, was the strongest year for job growth since the 1990s. Since the 1990s.
The president made it very clear that it wasn't just a comeback for the auto industry, but a comeback for the people.
We're moving. These 6 years have been tough. Demanded hard work, demanded sacrifice on everybody's part. You guys know that more than most.
Obama said the federal government could have provided the auto industry money without any strings attached, or could have done nothing.
Since 2010, we, America, have put more people back to work than Europe, Japan, and every other advanced economy combined.
The president chose to invest in a program to encourage restructuring.
The workers are excited to have the president come to town, but they're even more excited to have the auto industry coming back.
There's new things that we're trying, there's new processes, there's new ways of building cars. And it seems like we were both here when the auto industry was kind of going down, and there was no investment, there was nothing new, but when you're on the rebound, there's a lot of new techniques, a lot of new ways of building automobiles. And we're on the cutting edge of that here.
Cheryl Williams has worked at the Ford plant for 26 years. She adds she's happy the plant has kept its doors open.
In 2008, we were in danger of going up under, but President Obama and the UAW got together and Ford Motor Company, and they made it possible for us to stay open.
If there's one thing that you can take to the bank when talking about Detroit, is that Detroit always comes back.
And the president will have much more in his State of the Union address in the coming weeks. We're in the newsroom, Matthew Smith, DTV News.
Expect to see the president's full remarks in the State of the Union address. If you drive down Gale Road, you've probably noticed the construction work on what's soon to be Lake Callis. Since construction broke ground in spring of 2014, the pavilions are in place and the digging for the actual lake has been completed. Davison Township officials say they expect to open it to the public this spring. Here's an update to a story we brought you last spring. Josie Ann Lee and Christine Lee Draybuck were married along with over 300 other gay couples in Michigan. Marriage equality was legalized, but almost 24 hours later, the state attorney general put a stop to gay marriages, leaving those couples in limbo. But now a federal judge has ruled that marriages that happen in that 24-hour period should be recognized by the government. Michigan's gay marriage ban will now go to the U.S. Supreme Court for a final decision.
Texting and driving is becoming a big problem around the world today, especially with teenagers. Senior Kylie Clifford and Tina Katerina decided to get their message across on how dangerous this can be. Students were asked to sign their name on a banner pledging not to text and drive. This spring, they're expecting to show the school what happens firsthand through a mock crash. Coming up in sports,
Grant Palmentier will wrap up all of Davison's basketball games.
It was a monstrous night for Davison Hoops. I'm Grant Palmentier, and this is DTV Sports.
It was a rivalry matchup between the Kearsley Hornets and the Davison Cards. Starting off the night is Preston McNabb with a putback after a nice offensive rebound to get the Cards leading in the first quarter. Later on is the start of a huge night for Frank as he puts up a nasty block on a Hornet player. Brendan Fleming kicked off the second quarter with a nice kick out to John DePillo, who nails it from downtown just like he always does. Grant Rooker then puts up a nice shot after the kick out from DePillo to put his team up 20-11. Then moving on to the third quarter, Fleming kicks things off for the boys with a solid shot from beyond the arc. Vukai's big night began to happen here after a nice putback to make a steady lead for the boys in the third. And here we see Vukai again charging for the rim with all his might to slam it home for the boys as the third quarter ticks down. And if you don't think Vukai is a monster yet, here he is doing his Frank thing again and ramming it in for a hoop and some harm. Frank solidified his domination with 25 points on the night.
My teammates got me the ball. You know, we looked in and out. I just felt it a little bit, took it to the hole. I mean, I dished it out a couple times. Honestly, it really started our defense. It really did.
After a big game from the guys over at Kearsley, the girls took the Hornets to town in the home of the Cards. Haley Gabriel for the layup right off the bat here in a difficult first quarter for the Cards. Still in the first here, Haley Alderson puts up the nice up and in. And here's Alderson again. She decides to play unselfish, though, and dices it out to Casey Wangler, who sinks the jumper from about 10 feet out. It was a close one in the first, 13-11, with the Cards leading. Katie Hall decided it was time to shine with her first 3 buckets of the night. She then puts it back up one possession later, but it bounces out to Madeline Carr, who puts it back up for some great second-chance points. And here we see the sharpshooter that is Katie Hall again chalk up 3 more points from downtown to add to her total 23 points on the night. The girls finish off the night in victory, 62-38.
The boys and girls will next take on Bay City Central, with the boys staying home and the girls hitting the road. Fantastic job, ballers. Let's keep these wins rolling. From the hardwood to the water, the boys' swimming team has been making splashes in the pool. The guys' team dove into the Genesee County Invitational at Fenton. The school record was broken as the boys took first in the 200 medley with a blazing fast time of 1 minute 44 seconds. The guys also took first in the 100 butterfly with a time of 52.7 seconds. Michael Spears beat his personal record, the school record, and the Fenton pool record for the 100-yard butterfly. With the first place takeaways, Davison defeated Grand Blanc and Powers for the first time in years. And to add to all the success, the relay team jumped from third to first place and qualified for the MISCA Invitational and States. In addition, every single member had new personal times in each of their respective events. There's not many words to describe the amount of success the boys took away this weekend, so congrats to them and good luck against Midland tonight at home. If you haven't already marked your calendars for the Davison Powers game, here's a little extra incentive. On February 6th, the girls' game will begin at 6 in the evening. Immediately after, the guys will also take on the Chargers. February 6th also marks DTV's ESPN-style doubleheader special, featuring a pregame show, play-by-play highlights, player interviews, and a postgame show. It's a great chance to catch the most Davison basketball action in one place, so be sure to tune into DTV on Channel 191 to check it out. Again, that's February 6th at 6 p.m. on Channel 191. Lots of good things are happening in the world of Davison athletics, and it's fantastic to see new trailblazers in each of our sports. Good luck goes out to all of our sporting teams' next events. That does it for me here on the sports desk, so I'll toss it back to Caleb and Christian for the rest of your news.
Thanks, Grant. The popular restaurant Archie's is handing over the keys to a new owner. Mr. Archie Brasseur has been the owner of Archie's and has kept his doors open for 42 years. But this last month, Mr. Brasseur was ready to go into retirement and sold his restaurant to Leo's Coney Island. High school students have been going there for over 40 years as a tradition after football games.
Davison Middle School students are taking action for a good cause. Students are trying to raise money by selling wristbands for the Thirst Project. The project is aimed to help build a water well in Africa. The goal is to hit around $12,000. Students and teachers involved are trying to spread the word around the district.
Stay updated on things around Davison by following us on Twitter at DTV_official. Also, make sure to search DTV News on Facebook and like our new page.
On Thursday, DTV will have the Han Vocal Concert live at 7. And then on Friday, the boys will be taking on Northwestern, also at 7.
Want to rewatch anything from today's newscast? Just go to dtvnews.org and press Watch Now.
Well, guys, the boys have a huge game coming up this Friday night.
Yeah, against the rival Northwestern. It's going to be a big game. They beat us before, but we're going to try to get them back this time.
Yeah, I really hope we do. Well, I'm Caleb Gulledge alongside Grant Palmentier and Christian Twing. Have a nice day, Davison.